Good evening, everyone. Morning, good afternoon. I greet you all from anywhere you are listening. This is the voice of Eye of Ra. I welcome you to this enclave, the first of its kind on Facebook Live. Apologize for that lateness. It's not our fault. We didn't do anything wrong. It was just the signal transmission was a bit problematic. If you can hear me, please go to the comment section and click hashtag enclave. Go to the comment section, click hashtag enclave. You are highly welcome to the first enclave to be broadcasted live on Facebook. When we started enclave, it was only conducted in the group House of Ra. That's where we limited it. Then later, we reserved it for our subscribed members alone. But then, many people asked for it. They said, no, more people will need this enclave. The territory will have to increase. Bring it back where people can listen. And that's how we are bringing it back. That's how we were bringing it back to Facebook. And this time around, not even in the House of Ra, but at the page, so that everybody can listen. And that's beautiful enough. Starting with a very important topic, incredible topic that divides opinion. Topic that have been in discussion for thousands of years and still counting. A topic that is riddled with contradiction. Today, you want to delve into those contradictions. That is why this is Eye of Ra. This is a melting point of sciences, spirituality, and native wisdom. Everything mixes up here. And if you really want to progress in life, if you really want to advance, then you need everything. Everything you can lay your hands on. And I tell you that most important thing you need is the advancement of the mind. Today we are talking about destiny. Destiny. Does it exist or does it not? We're talking about destiny. Many things have been said about it. And some who believe it exists also believe it can be manipulated. Sometimes we hear people saying, oh, this one, my destiny is tied somewhere or is locked somewhere. And you people ask, does destiny truly exist? Not to talk of someone manipulating it. And that has been a question that has been around. It didn't start with our generation. It may not also end with our generation. But we owe it duty to tell you what we feel, what we think about destiny. We feel is the right thing for us to talk about it. So if actually exists, how does it operate? How can it be influenced? How can you get the best out of your destiny? If it does not exist, then how? Why? And what should we do in its absence? That's exactly why we're right here at this enclave, the first of its kind to be broadcasted live, to discuss. We talk. All your questions, you can drop them at the comment section and they shall be answered even if they are not answered tonight. In subsequent posts, you see your questions being answered. So, if you remember that movie they call Matrix, you remember that movie very well. Morpheus asked Neo, do you believe in fate? You know, fate and destiny go hand in hand. Fate and destiny go hand in hand. We'll talk about it too. Morpheus asked Neo, Neo, do you believe in fate? And Neo said no. And Morpheus asked him, why not? And Neo said, because I don't like the idea that I am not in control of my life. That is what Neo responded. So Neo's reason for not believing in destiny or fate is because he does not want to believe that he's not in control of his life. And this is exactly the reason why so many people do not believe in destiny. Because they don't want to be seen like they are being controlled by something else, some other higher forces or something. So because of that, many people will tell you no fate, no destiny, that whatever you get is what is due for you. And whatever you want, you go for it. You just live off your effort, nothing else. And those who don't believe in destiny, they live in absolute freedom. They believe that humans have got the freedom to do anything without any interference. They do not believe that there are forces beyond their control. So we're going to look at everything. We're going to look at destiny. We're going to look at how it started. We're going to look at what science thinks of it. We're going to look at what religion thinks of it, tradition and everything. I will come to a conclusion if it exists or not. And if it exists, how do we get the best out of our destiny? How do we get the best? How do you live that life that you want, that you desire, that life that you wish for, which you feel is your destiny? Those accomplishments that you feel you're destined to accomplish, you have to find out. Probably because you have no clear understanding of how destiny works. Remember that we always say that you can only control what you master, what you know about. You cannot control what you don't understand. And for you to understand, for you to be able to master your destiny, you need to understand it. You need to understand what is this destiny? How does it work? If you can't do that, then you can master your destiny. We'll be very fast because of the time it took us to start. So I'll be very quick so we can ask our questions. Think. That is why we're here. We're here to put our heads together. I know many of you must have been told by prophets or traditional priests, channelers, that they are destined to be great. And I know that many of you have been wondering if those words were true. And you look at your life, you say, how come I haven't become what was prophesied that I will be? Some will say, maybe there's nothing like this. Some will say, maybe there is. So we're going to look at that and find out why. What exactly did they see for you? If actually they saw anything, what did they see? And how do those things manifest? The things they see for you, how do they manifest? So I welcome all of you to this late night. This is the voice of Aaron Ra, the one you can only feel his impact, and yet you can't see him. The one who is far away from you, thousands of miles away from you, and yet millimeters away from where you are right now. I welcome all of us. You listen, you learn, you enjoy yourself. That is why we're here. And that's exactly what your body and soul need at this moment. I tell you, the most important food you need right now is the nourishment of your soul. That is the most important thing you need. How did this destiny of the thing even come into existence? Well, just like we are talking about humans, nobody has actually said when humans started believing in supernatural forces. In all the books I've read, nobody has been able to say at this point of human evolution, that is when humans started believing in supernatural forces or God or God. So it means that it has been with them. They evolved with that consciousness, that mindset, that there are supernatural forces beyond them. Our forefathers had it. The, those who have existed here, if you're conversant with prehistoric studies, you see those fossils they pick. You see those civilizations that they pick together and try to analyze. You see there is something very central to all those civilizations. You look at the ancient Egyptians, we can still see what they did 10,000 years ago. You look at the ancient Greeks, you can still see what they did so many thousands of years ago. And all that they did was centered on a belief in supernatural forces. So they have always believed in God. And since they have always believed in God, they also believe that those forces determine the future as well as the past. And they had they had priests who they will send. Please go and check the future for us. Ask God what He's planning for us in the future. And they will go, they will return back and say, God said this, God said that in the next 40 days, there will be famine, there will be this, there will be that. And it will happen exactly the same, the way those prophets said it. And when you see something like that, you look at it, okay, I think this is already destined to happen. That's why the prophet will say it. Well, this has been with humans, but from 20th century, when we started advancing rapidly, this mindset of free will started growing in humans. Free will. Just like Neo replied Morpheus in metrics. Humans believe that they have got free will, that no, but nothing else. No force is above them, and no force can control them. And that's how some people say, no, there is nothing like destiny. It does not exist. Because we don't want to look at it like we are being controlled. Well, destiny is defined as the hidden power believed to control future events. That's what the destiny is. Hidden power believes to control future events. And what about faith? Faith is the development of events outside your own control. Those events are regarded as predetermined. They have been planned to happen. You see? So we will have to make this engagement very, very ordinary. We have to simplify for everybody's comprehension. People will always say, Ayovra, how do you make complex teachings to be very simple? You see, these things I'm discussing with you guys, if you dare enter a philosophy class to listen to this, I'll tell you the words you're going to hear there, you come out more confused. So, all those big words are what I try to eliminate by simplifying whatever we're learning to the comprehension of everybody. Not everybody is opportune to have a qualification, and because we are online, does not mean that everybody has got the best of academic qualification. But it's, as a teacher, your responsibility is to make sure that your audience understand what you're teaching. But when the time comes, we are going to discuss more on this. This I'm talking about when we get to that level. So we try to make this uh, engagement as simple as possible. So, and now the question now is, those who do not believe in destiny, I've interacted with some of them. But apart from the belief that they don't want to be seen that they are being controlled, there is nothing else. They have to back it up. And I ask, okay, if you think there is no destiny, what does it mean? It means that there shouldn't be nobody should be able to see the future. And nobody should be able to make any prophecy or make any for any channeling. And it means that you won't be able to sleep, dream, and what you dream come to pass. Because when you sleep and dream, there are so many people who whatever they dream come to reality. Some will take time, 4 years, 5 years before they materialize. Some are instant, 1 day, 2 days, and some materialize almost exactly the way they saw it. And you see that these are events that have already been predetermined for the future. These events have been set up for the future. That's why you were able to say it. And if these events have been set up for the future, it means that every other thing have been set up for the future. And when you raise such, those who do not believe in destiny will tell you, well. But the truth is this: in your Holy Bible, you mentioned destiny in more than 20 verses. Bible mentioned destiny in more than 20 verses. And all are pointing towards that everything you're doing is predetermined. That your beginning and your end are all predetermined. And many of us are still thinking, is it true or not? We are going to find out. And if it's true, how can we get the best of it? This is a practical ground. We talk what we do, not what we talk and we do. We don't talk just to be happy. Some people can tell you things to be happy. But are those things practical? No. This is a practical ground. And what I tell you is what is practical, what you can feel on your own. In your quiet time, you think over those things. And when you're convinced, or if you're convinced, then that's when you can believe. Just as I normally say, do not believe in anything without personal conviction. So in about over 20 verses, you see that other holy books too, other organized religions too, they also believe in destiny. You get it in their verses, in their holy verses. You see it there. So the problem there is how much, if you now believe in destiny, as organized religions do, as so many spiritual movements do, if you believe in destiny, then how does it work? Is it that you just sit down because everything is determined for you? You just wake up in the morning, then you walk into it. How does it really real? How does it exist? And how does it operate? Well, apart from the religious people, scientists are also divided on destiny. Some scientists say no, it's all about free will. There's some scientists who are also deeper. They know that science is all about prediction. You understand a phenomenon, how it works, you try to study it, then you develop theories and equations to determine those things. That is why people will send rocket to the space, because everything is well projected at time. It's predicted at a so and so time the spacecraft should be at a particular inclination, and so time it should be there until it arrives at the orbit. All those are calculated. They are all calculation. And science is telling you that if everything obeys scientific laws, and scientific laws tell you that you can actually predict everything. If you understand the pattern of something, then you can use that pattern to project the future, which of course it can be 100% accurate, but has certain degree of accuracy. And scientists will tell you that if you believe in that, then you believe in destiny. Because everything has been projected to have a designed end. Just the way you use your science to project the future and say, okay, this is what is going to happen. If you cannot project the future, even with your little forecast, you can project the future with your little forecast, then you have no right to say there's no destiny. Because it's the future you're trying to predict. So the scientists say no. Everything obeys scientific law. And therefore, everything is predetermined. That's how many scientists, not all, by the way, the ones, the ones who have got big ego, who don't want to believe that there are other forces that influence their life, those ones say there's no destiny. But the greater population of them say there is. Because scientifically, it seems everything is designed to have a specific end. That's what destiny is all about. Destiny means that you're coming to this world, you're existing, you're going is already predetermined. Like I asked somebody who said that there is no destiny. I say, what input did you make in your choice of your parents or the choice of your country of birth? What's your if you think that there's no force beyond your control, or you feel that you have got absolute control, what input? How did you decide on the parents that brought you to this world? How did you decide on the country you were born? Those things that are beyond you. You didn't participate, you didn't partake in deciding those things. You came around and you saw them. And there are so many other things that you can't change. You came and you saw them. And what do you need to do? You adapt. And that's where your destiny continues from. And that adaptation will have a lot of input in your future. That's what destiny is all about. So now that we believe there is something like destiny, let's now get deeper a bit about it. Many people have asked, what's my destiny? Am I even in this world to do? First and foremost, everybody is greatly talented. Everybody is gifted. And some other people will say, we have got talent, not destiny. And I say, well, if you think we have got talent, and you think talent is not part of destiny, then how come everybody is not equally talented? How come everybody is not talented on the same thing? How come people are talented in different areas? So these are all things that shape destiny. So as we go deeper, we ask, how do we shape our destiny? How do we manage our destiny very well? How do we manage it? Just like humans exist in three forms. Those who have read the Sparks New Beginning, that beautiful book, you see it there, where it says humans exist in three forms. And our destiny are shaped in three ways. This is very, very important. Our destinies are shaped in three ways. The first, there is a spiritual factor to your destiny. That's the first way. And that spiritual factor is for you to be able to shape your destiny. The spiritual factor must have to come into place. The spiritual factor revolves around your spirituality, the right you do, your spiritual belief, how it helps you, how it improves your life. Then the second one is the mental factor. The mental factor takes over from the spiritual factor. When that idea is delivered to you from the spiritual realm, you need the mental factor to analyze it. The mental factor is where you store your knowledge, everything you learn, everything you see, your experiences, the researches that you do, the analysis that you conduct when you want to take a decision. All those happen at the mental space. All those are the things the factors that shape your destiny. I'm sharing with us. That mental factor is also very important because after you've conceived it, the spiritual realm, The mental factor will help you to picture it, to help you to work for its manifestation using the knowledge you've gathered over time in knowledge, research. That is a very important factor. And the third factor is the physical factor. The physical factor is after you've done your analysis, you've done your planning, then you have to execute. These three factors shape your destiny. Your destiny depends on these three forms to materialize. You have to take it very serious. If you satisfy one and leave one behind, then you will still not maximize your destiny. All three factors will have to work: the spiritual factor, the mental factor, the physical factor. Three of them must have to work for your destiny to be shaped. That's why some people, when they go to see the seers, the prophets, they tell them, "Oh, you're destined to be great. You're destined to be a billionaire. You're destined." At the same time, you're not seeing anything because those people are neglecting the mental and physical aspects of their destiny. They are neglecting the mental aspect. The mental aspect is where the work is. That is why people do research. That's why people get knowledge. That's why people get education in order to enhance the mental factor, the mental aspects of their destiny. And then after that, of course, we are talking about the physical factor. So when you are relying on the spiritual factor alone, then your destiny will keep faltering. It will keep faltering. So you need these three forms to get the best out of your destiny. So when some people were talking about destiny, many people have asked if you believe in destiny. So it means that whether I participate, whether the mental factor or the physical factor are in order or not, that what is destined for me must come to me. Well, destiny runs on certain probabilities. Sometimes I don't want to drag another topic into this, but sometimes those prophets and seers, what they are seeing for you or what they will tell you is not even something that will happen in your lifetime. Some of them will see something that will happen in your next life because it's part of your destiny, and that destiny is a continuous thing. It doesn't end in this world, it takes you to the other world. So some of the things that they tell you, the prophets and the seers tell you, may not even happen in your lifetime. So for you to be able to get the best out of those probabilities, you have to make sure that these three factors are formidable. These three factors bring the best out of your destiny: the spiritual factor, the mental factor, the physical factor. That's why sometimes you see some people very brilliant, very knowledgeable, very hardworking. And sometimes you look at them, you see that the spiritual form, the spiritual part of aspect of their destiny is not taken care of. And because of that, their destiny is faltering. And some of them, once they align their spiritual forces, they have a new lease of life. These are all things affecting destiny. So some other people have also asked, they say destiny can be manipulated. Is it true? When you tell me that, I will say, wow, if it's your destiny for your destiny to be manipulated, then you feel so. If you think it's your destiny, that your destiny can be manipulated, then it's your destiny. Yeah. There are so many things that go on that we are going to learn as time goes on. Some of those will need graphic representation for you to understand. Some of the things I'm telling you here, I just wish you could watch them in a video or something so that you can have better knowledge of them. And we are always planning to make things better. We always plan to make our engagement better. So some of the things we are going to learn, some of the things we are saying now may not make too much sense. But by the time we get deeper and deeper, you'll be able to link to this lecture, to the one of next week, and to the one of upper week. By so doing, you begin to link them together and they will begin to make sense to you. There are certain things that are destined to happen. And what destiny simply means is order. Destiny is not, you see, you put 90,000 people in a place and you ask everybody to leave that place at the same time. Most likely you're going to cause stampede. Most likely. And most likely it's going to take several days for those 90,000 people to exit that place. But when there is order and 90,000 people are in the same place, let's say a stadium, and you open the gate, then they start leaving one after the other in an orderly manner. This one will leave, this one will follow, this one will leave. Within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you see all those 90,000 people will successfully exit that place. This is what destiny does. Destiny brings order. It makes sure that there is no stampede. It brings order. That is why everybody's timing is different. Because just the way I use the stadium illustration, that's the same way it is. There is no way everybody in this world will wake up at the same time. We don't even have the same morning. We don't even share the same night. We don't even share the same afternoon. All those things are done for order to take place. Why destiny is in existence, for order to take place. Destiny means that when is your time, you get it. That's what destiny. So destiny brings order in the universe. Is a universal concept. Otherwise, there will be so much chaos. If there is no order, then there will be order. That means that all the billions of objects in the sky, in space, are orderly aligned. That's why you see those planets around the sun. You see them rotating and revolving orderly, and they are not coming into collision because each has got its own orbit to revolve and rotate. That is what destiny means. Destiny means that life in Mars is different from life on Earth and different from life on Jupiter because they all exist according to their own terms. That is what destiny is. Destiny means that you and I cannot love the same thing. You and I cannot be exactly the same people. That's what destiny does. Destiny brings order, brings, it makes, well, no matter what you have, your own talent, find your space here, find your space here, fill up this space, fill up this space, I fill up this space, and then there is a broader order. That is what destiny does. As time goes on, we'll still talk about it again and again and again. We can spend the whole of this year talking about destiny. But destiny is the reason there is order. And that's the reason why there will always be one president of a country at a time. It does not matter if he's the most qualified. It does not matter if he's the most powerful. It does not matter. Because the time has come. And when that time comes, everything about the system becomes appealing. Just because the time has come. If you look around the world today, you see certain people that 20 years ago nobody would give them audience as politicians. But today they are superstars. Because they are the timing of their emergence. They emerge exactly the time the audience is there waiting for them. That's what destiny does. The audience they need is there waiting for them. And they have been who they are all these years, but they had no audience. And all of a sudden, the audience is there and the audience, you look at some of them and you see them at the top without audience. Destiny does. That destiny means that at any given time, only one person occupies that particular position. It does not matter whether he is the most competent or not. And we have said that for those things to happen, you also have your own role to play. As I always say, we are not God's slaves. We are his co-creators. Those who have always been against destiny, who have preached free will, what they don't know is that the two work hand in hand. You have got a perceived free will. At the same time, you have under some supernatural control. So you have your own role to play in order to shape your own destiny. And we talked about the spiritual factor, the mental factor, the physical factor. And we say that you have to build yourself in these three areas. You have to be formidable for your destiny to really blossom. Don't just pray after pray, no hard work. I met one young man came to me and he said, I want to be a billionaire. I say, oh, really? He said, yeah. I said, okay, so what business do you do? He said, I don't have a business yet. I said, okay, so how do you want to be a billionaire? He said, I don't know. It was prophesied to me that I would be a billionaire. I said, no. See, billionaires didn't wake up one morning and say, I want to become a billionaire. No. I mean real billionaires. The billionaires you see today, they didn't wake up one morning and say, I want to become a billionaire. They only wake up one morning and say, you see this idea, I want to develop this idea. And then what else did they do? They came up with a plan. That idea is what your spirituality does for you. It comes in form of ideas. If you have been following us, I'll tell you that you remember that I once said that When we pray, we don't know when we receive. We know how to pray, but we don't know how to receive. Most of our prayers are answered, and yet we don't know. Because those answers come in form of ideas. We disregard them. The idea is actually how best God answers your prayer. And then most billionaires, the idea will just come like a joke. They look at it as, okay, this idea looks good. That's the spiritual factor. Then they descend into the mental factor. The mental factor is where they dissect those ideas and say, what do we need to get this idea working? What do we need to make this idea a reality? That is the mental place, the mental space, the mental factor. That is the mental aspect of your destiny. And they will begin to work on it. They do their calculation, they do their studies, they do their trial and error, they do their experiment, all at the mental stage. From there, what else? They hit the ground running at the physical stage. At the physical stage, they begin to gather the things they need to hit the ground running. And all these things start with that idea. Then after that idea, what else? They task themselves. I wake up in the morning, this idea, I wake up in the morning, I'll achieve this. By the end of the day, look at what I hope to achieve. Then tomorrow, look at what I hope to do, and look at what I hope to achieve. That is how they split those ideas into pieces. They split those ideas into pieces and fill them up in their daily routine, in their timing. Every second, every minute is for a particular stage of that idea. And this is how they will split all those tasks throughout the year. And at every day they do their evaluation. Did I accomplish this task? Yes. They move to the next task. Did I accomplish? Yes. And at the end of the year, they look at themselves and they say, okay, we accomplished this task. So which task are we going to present to ourselves this year? What are we going to challenge ourselves with here? This is exactly how billionaires became billionaires. I'm telling you nothing but the truth. By accomplishing their daily task, nothing else. Nothing else. They didn't set out to become billionaire. They never say, oh, I'll become a billionaire. Many of them I know, read about them. They didn't wake up and say, I want to be a billionaire. But they woke up and say, look at ideas, look at problems. I want to solve these problems. And then they start planning. After planning, they start acting, executing. As they execute, they pick up, they fail, they come back, they pick up experiences, they overcome their challenges, they accomplish their task, and each task they accomplish, they give a bigger task. Before you know it, you have grown so big. As you are doing that, you're watching out for opportunities to increase, to improve, and increase your task. And all, of course, you know, as you're increasing your task, you're also increasing your earning. This is how billionaires become billionaires. And this is how destinies are shaped. If you want to hear the truth, that is what I'm telling you. If you think because one certain person prophesied that you're going to be a billionaire, then you sit at the comfort of your home and waiting for the time that you'll be knocked at the door and say, come and become a billionaire. Then you are wasting that your destiny. And I tell you that if your destiny is to be rich as you have been told, is not in this particular world. If you mess around it, it will be postponed to the next world or whenever. That's why I said there are complex probabilities that make up. Destiny is not just one. You know, it's not just like you have been living in the past. That's why I'm trying to manage this so that we don't talk about enter into another topic that is not that's beyond the context of our subject. But what we are talking about is you and this life. We are not talking about the previous one. We are not talking about the future one or where you will go after here. We are talking about this particular one, your destiny on earth. That is what we are discussing. And we are saying that for the fact that you did not have a hand in who brought you to this world and the location you were brought into, already that means that you have limitation to your free will. You were not consulted. You never say that Mr. A will be my father, Mr. B will be my mother. You never say that Miss country A will be my country, country B will be my country. For the fact that you were not part of that decision, that means your free will or whatever freedom you think, yes. And if you don't have that liberty to choose how you came to this world, then it means that you have limitations on choices. You have limitations on decision. And this is where destiny comes in. This is where faith comes in. Because when you were born, your life is already shaping. Your future is being shaped from the moment you are born. And these are the paths to your destiny. So destiny is a very big thing. We have discussed about it. I personally believe that it exists. I believe in faith. I believe in I believe in destiny and the free will that we always talk about, which satisfies our ego. We as humans, we love to hear that we have free will. We love to hear it a lot. Each time we hear that we have free will, it makes us so happy. But we are not going to talk about free will today. When the time comes, I think when you look at our enclave calendar, you see a day for it. There is a topic set up on the free will. That day, we are going to tell ourselves the truth, whether we truly have that free will or it is just an illusion. Just like those who believe in free will. I was discussing with one of them the other day. I said, we are in the era of AI. And you see this robot, they do everything. You call them, they answer. You send them on errands, they go. And sometimes they initiate conversation. You see the AI, whatever you ask the AI, it answers. Some of them have that, like you see the one they use in football training. That one has the capacity to dribble, it has the capacity to tackle so hard, it has the capacity to also avoid tackles. And I ask my free will friend, I say, for the fact that this robot can dodge tackle, does it make it to have a mind of its own? The fact that this robot can act, you can send it on a message. You can even try to kick it, like the one they use in boxing. So it senses your punch and it can dodge your punch. And that dodging of course, with the fact that it senses your punch coming and it dodges it, does it give it a free will? Does it make that robot? Does it make the robot have a free will? These are the conversation we're going to have sometime, not now. So what I'm trying to say is this, that we have all got destiny. We have all got destiny. And when you look at yourself, those things you call talent, those are where mostly that's where your destiny is always hidden. And we say that your destiny can be shaped in three forms: the spiritual side, the mental side, and the physical side. I would say those three sides must be in balance, in alignment for your destiny to truly shine. That's just it. So you have to be ready. You have to improve your mental state, which is equipping yourself with knowledge and experiences. You see, anytime you have any problem, you remember that the first idea is what you know that will first come to you. Anytime you are challenged and you need a quick decision, you remember, you know that the idea that will come ideas just within your thinking space. That's the first. That's where you go for solution first within your thinking space. And why that's why you need to equip your thinking space, that mental space. You need to equip it so much. So when you equip it, at any given time, you have the right idea to select from. At any given time, you have the right ideas to select from. So you need to equip your mental state so that your destiny can really, really, really shine. Then you need to work for the physical side, your physical execution. Many of us will take planning for granted. We take analysis for granted. We take research for granted. But these are the mental state. You see, like somebody will come and say, "Oh, okay, one prophet say I should go into this particular business," and I say, "Well, prophets don't tell you the business to do. You do that yourself." He said, "The prophet say I will excel in this business." I say, "Do you know the business? If you don't know the business, then you learn the business. Then after learning the business, you have to do your own business planning, do your feasibility study, do your business planning, do your financial projection." He said, "Those are not necessary." I say, "Well, if you don't do those things, you're going to fail because you're neglecting the mental side of your destiny. You're neglecting the mental side of that business. Even if the prophet has seen that you're going to excel in that business, you don't expect the prophet to do your mental side for you. That is your responsibility. You will be the one to study, do the mental side. I say that your destiny runs on three forms. The spiritual side, mental side is that thinking, that planning, this business planning. I'm telling you, this feasibility studies. These are your mental responsibility. You have to undertake them. There's no negotiation. Don't cover them up with spirituality. Spirituality has got its own responsibility. Your mental side has got its own role, and you must feed it. Then you talk about the physical side. The physical side is that you have to do, you have to move, you have to do, you have to act. For everything to manifest in the physical side, this is physical plane. There must be physical effort. You must put in your effort. You must put in your best. These are the things I want you to know. Unless you want the easy way, then people will tell you, go. But at the end, you end up regretting. Many who have come to me and feel that, oh, your ways are too difficult for us. Yes, you always want to push us to go to the extra mile. I said, well, it's because I want the best for you. You want it easy, then you're not going to get it. You want it easy, you rest assured that you are likely to fail. But if you want something that is long lasting, which I want you people to build, I don't want you to build on faulty foundation. I want you to build on strong foundation. And if you must build on strong foundation, then you must be ready. Must be ready. Must be ready to accept reality. Must be ready to accept truth. No matter how bitter it may look or appear. And the truth is that for your destiny to excel, your three forms must be in alignment. Your spiritual form, your mental form, and your physical form. You concentrate on your spiritual side alone. You go to every day you're praying, every day you're fasting, every day you're hoping for one angel to do one miracle for you. Every day you're hoping that you wake up one morning and then discover billions under your pillow. You are wasting your time. You're concentrating on only the spiritual side. You're neglecting the two other sides. And for the fact that you're neglecting those two sides, you can't get the right result. Please pay very good attention to process. Forget about the result. Pay very good attention to process. Process is where that mental state, mental form is the process. That is where you should concentrate on the process. You want an easy process, then be rest assured that the product, the end product will not, it won't be that beautiful. That is the gospel truth. Thank you all for this moment. I think I've already taken too much of your time. If you have questions, you can drop at the comment section. If you have questions, just type at the comment section. I'm going to attend to your questions. Anything you feel about destiny, your confusion, your distraction, your conviction, whatever you know or you feel about destiny, you can just share with us at the comment section so that we take it off from there. If you have questions, you ask. If you need more clarity on the subject, of course, you can always approach me. So this is the first time we are, just as I said earlier, that we are having an enclave live like this. We'll keep evaluating until we get the best approach. So we'll do this for a couple of time and see the feedback we're going to get. We'll look at the results, and if they are encouraging, we'll continue. But there is no limit to what we can do, and there is no ending to our evolution. So we'll keep evolving. We've got a lot of things in stock. As time goes on, we'll be unleashing them one after the other. So once more, I thank you everybody for this moment. You have sacrificed your time to be here. You have sacrificed everything to listen to this. And if you think it's worth it, then you come to the comment section and comment. And the question we are getting from the studio here from Stephen. Stephen is asking us to shed more light on the spiritual factor. The spiritual factor. Yes, the spiritual factor is very important. Just as I said earlier, yes, humans, we exist in three forms. We exist in physical, we exist in mental state, we exist in spiritual state. We humans. So our destinies too are shaped by these three states: the spiritual state, the mental state, and the physical state. I will say the spiritual side of your destiny is the prayers you do, the sacrifices you make, the rites you undertake, And I say that the essence of doing those things is not to ask God all the time, oh God, give me food. Oh God, I need money. God, I need car. I need this. I need that. No. You do those. The spiritual side is for ideas, life-changing ideas, innovation. Is a communication. The spiritual side is a communication between you and your higher self, between you and those supernatural forces, those forces that are in control. That's what your spirituality does for you. Spirituality connects you to the higher forces, the supernatural forces around you. So that's the spiritual side of your destiny. And that will make sure that you are properly guided. That will make sure that the right ideas come to you. That will make sure that the right people connect to you. That will make sure that You be at the right places at the right time. That's what the spirituality does for you. But that is all it does. It won't be the one to execute it for you. You have to execute it yourself. You will be the one, just the way I'm here talking and you're listening. If I'm not talking, you won't be listening, you won't be hearing. And I won't sit in my home and expect that Stephen will be understanding or hearing what I'm saying, even without me talking. No, I am the one executing right now by talking, and you're listening. So if you don't execute, then your destiny will not be complete. And what are we saying? That you cannot execute until you consult your mental state. Your mental state is your learning state. That's where you store your knowledge, your experiences, the research you do, the analysis you do. Everything you do must be planned. You don't wake up in the morning and then you just start anything that comes into your mind, you do. You don't do like that. Everything must be carefully planned. And that planning process is done at the mental state before you bring it to the physical state. The physical state is the state of execution. That is where you execute your destiny. That is where you put those things. If you're a musician, of course, you have to go to the studio. You have to spend sleepless nights in the studio making your beats, in order after everything. You have to be the one to do all that. No matter how talented you are, no matter how gifted you are as a musician, you must write, or at least you must go to the studio to record your music. And it doesn't end there. You must do the marketing for people to know you and say, oh, this person I'm listening to, I think this music is good. So it doesn't end with making good music. You also have to do the marketing. These are all physical process that you must undertake. So the spiritual side of you as a musician is that you're seeking inspiration. That inspiration is the spiritual side of it. It's about creativity, and creativity has no boundary. So the spiritual side is the inspiration that will come to you that will tell you, oh, okay, contact so and so person, contact so and so person, try and maybe do a freestyle and and so thing. Post and so thing on your social media who might be watching. That is it. That is this. That's what the spiritual side does for you. That idea. That is the other day I posted. I say, this is why you pray. You don't pray because you're just when you pray, you transfer God's power upon yourself. You're saying, God, that power you have, I need it to give me your powers too. And we all know what God powers does. It's powers of creation. You have to create. And then when you create, of course, there are processes. You have to create through processes. And this is why you should pray. You don't pray, you don't transfer all your problems to God and then you sit at home. Then how are you a stakeholder? How are you a co-creator? You have your own role to play. The spiritual side ends there with that your communication with God, your religious activities and all that. It ends there. And the next thing is the other two. That is why you need to seek knowledge, seek wisdom, seek advice, know things, because that's where your execution will come from. So this question is from Stephen. So if you have any other question, you can drop it on the comment section. Steve, I don't know if your question is properly answered, but if you have further questions, you can also drop it. Even the ones we can answer tonight, we'll still answer it some other time. Maybe tomorrow we can do it or any other night. So then when people talk about uh, manipulation of destiny, I won't talk about that today, but it's also done at the spiritual side. Whatever you feel that is, whatever that means to you, whatever manipulation of destiny means to you, I don't know what it means to you, but whatever it means to you, Is also done at the spiritual side. So, but I noticed that we pay so much attention on the spiritual side, even the physical and the mental side, especially the mental side. I would say that our weakest point is at the mental side. We don't like to learn, we don't like to read, we don't like to research, we don't like to arm ourselves with information. That is the clear difference. And when you don't do all that, then you embark on something. You're already bound to fail. And when you fail, you run again, you run back to the spiritual side and start seeking for spiritual solution. When you, without knowing that you are your own problem, because you have neglected two factors that shape your destiny. And that's the reason for your failure. So please, if you have another question, you can ask so that we can conclude. Just as I said, we'll keep improving. This is the first time we're doing this on live, and I don't know if that if that is encouraging enough. It depends on what we're going to see in the future. We'll keep upgrading. We'll keep changing. And then, if you will also like live broadcast to be shown on your content creator, and you want our live broadcast to be showing on your channel, you can also contact us so that we can link you up. Yeah, we are broadcasting from the studio, and there are some features there that we can give you, so you can broadcast our live. You can show it on your own channel and broadcast to your own live as you are saying it here. Is showing on your own channel or your page or your or you. I'm not just on Facebook, by the way. Even if you have other social media, TikTok, Instagram, and others, can be broadcasting it there live like this. So if you are a content creator or you feel that you have audience who will be interested in it, you can also contact us. We'll see how to work it out subsequently. So thank you very much. I think we are gonna end it soon. I'm gonna end it soon. If you're satisfied, please let me see you at the comment section. Steven, thank you very much. I hope your question was answered appropriately. Otherwise, of course, you keep in touch. All questions are answered, must be answered. The things we know, we are gonna share. There's nobody who knows everything, but whatever we say, just as I say, you also use your senses. Ask yourself questions and say, is there sense in what this person is saying? If there's sense in it, then you go ahead and try to also inject your own meaning into it. Try to inject your own meaning into it. See, let me tell you, any religion that is not encouraging provocative thinking, any movement, any teaching, any preaching that does not encourage you to think provocatively, think deeply, is not helping you. It's not helping you. You don't have to hide under the cover that it is God's wish. Then you destroy your destiny. And this is exactly proponents of free will. This is exactly what I don't like. That is why many of them say, please stop believing in destiny. It makes people lazy. I say no. Not believing in it even makes people lazier. Because by the time everybody thinks that this is within his powers and they can't do it, then there will be more frustration. It's better that people know that these are beyond their powers and they will be okay with it. So you don't have to. You say that's the way God wants it. Then you just abandon everything. Abandon your own responsibilities. Just that is also a bad way to chase your destiny. A very bad way. So I want you to always challenge your thinking. Always challenge your mind. Challenge your mindset at any given time. Provoke your thinking. Before you don't do anything without proper thinking, without proper planning. Otherwise, you have a failed execution. And when you have a failed execution, don't blame anybody. So I want us to pay more attention at what happens at that mental stage. Let us pay more attention to what happens at that mental state. It's very important. That mental state is highly important. So that's the direct link between the spiritual state and also the physical state. It receives from the spiritual state, it transmits to the physical state. So the mental state is so important, extremely important. That's why educating the mind properly should be everybody's responsibility. Thank you so much, everybody. If you have, I'll just grant you a few seconds for more questions. Otherwise, we'll call it a day, and we can continue from tomorrow. Okay, guys. See you some other time. Thank you so much for your audience. I will take it off from there. Whatever, you can always contact me. If you want to contact, you can contact. You can send inbox messages. You can send messages to our email addresses. You can also, if you're a subscribed member, of course, you can also reach to the admin portal, the membership community. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.